Cool. Yeah, because I've seen that you're making a lot of content on YouTube, so we might as well push it and get you some subs, mate. That's how it is, isn't it?
Yeah, man, big up in it. Are we live now?
We are.
Sick.
So you said you watch the second half of the game, yeah? Last night.
Yeah, I watched the second. Yeah, I watched the second half. I had training in it, so like I didn't even get to watch the first half. So I was literally on the way home until I was listening to commentary in the car, and then as soon as I got home, I think the second half started, and it was actually good. You know, second half I was enjoying it. I mean, for the first time in a while, I was actually enjoying watching United, even though it's a Barnsley team.
Yeah.
You got to beat what's ahead of you, innit? It's one of those ones.
Exactly. Of course it is, bro. At the end of the day, scoring 7 goals past anyone is a good thing. It can only be a positive. And what it does, it sets us up nicely for the Palace away game. Obviously, that's mega important. But yeah, it's the fact that the goals are all shared out. And I mean, I don't know if we go through like the players themselves. So the keeper didn't really have much to do. So you can't really judge him too much because he literally had nothing to do. But there you go. I guess what it does mean is that the manager is actually going to sort of play him in the cup games, maybe. And we'll see what happens in the next round. But yeah, there's not much to say about him. But and then our defence was all right, but again, they didn't really get tested. So really, it's more about our midfielders and our attackers. And for example, I thought Eriksen was really good, man. What did you think?
Oh yeah, Eriksen balled out, but the thing with Eriksen, I think Eriksen is probably technically better than Bruno. But the problem is with Eriksen, he's slow in terms of physicality-wise in the Prem, isn't it? Because when you're playing against, like, let's say League One side, no disrespect to Barnsley, but like they gave him way too much space, way too much time, and when you give a player that's got a bit of football intellect, he can easily find space and give it to a player in it. So I think this was a perfect game for Eriksen to play. So I was impressed. I don't know if he'll start the next game because ideally I'd start Ugarte, Maino, and probably Bruno in that midfield three because I don't trust the legs of Eriksen against a Palace team, and this is a new Palace team at Selhurst, so like I don't trust it. So I think starting with the League Cup, 90 minutes, I think he got that. That was all. I didn't have any faults with that. So we'll see how it goes though. But as of cup games, yeah, I was impressed. I was actually impressed.
Well, what's good about him, though, is the fact that, like you said, he's very reliable on the ball. Like, he doesn't mess around. He's not going to, like, do a Hollywood pass that goes nowhere. He plays it simple, but he's effective. And the other thing about Eriksen is he scored 2 goals, and they were both first-time shots. So it just shows you that if he attacks, then he can contribute with goals because, like I said, he took both his goals really well. I was speaking to people before the game, and I was like, I don't know when we're going to see Eriksen because obviously he hadn't played any minutes whatsoever in the league. So I was very surprised that actually he played in Southampton and played this game as well. But I think you're right. Do you reckon he's probably just going to get put on the bench and Bruno's going to come in on the weekend?
Yeah, Def. I think Bruno's your captain, isn't it? So he's never going to get dropped. Like, he gets benched, like, he'll get subbed off and stuff. Like, that's cool and all. I don't have a problem with that. But at the same time, I'd honestly just play Ugarte, Maino, and Bruno. Like, I think with Eriksen, I don't like an Eriksen Bruno midfield in the Premier League because I just find you're just going to get overran by legs, literally. Like, it's not me saying Eriksen's crap and stuff like that. I'm just saying in terms of logic-wise, he's never going to drop Bruno. So you wouldn't partner Bruno with another player that's bit slow, not let's say, what's the word? How can you say it's like athletic, isn't it? Like athletic. He's a footballer, but he's just not athletic. That's the problem. Yeah. So I think Ugarte is someone that I actually really hope starts on Saturday. And I'd put Casemiro on the bench, but if we're winning, let's say by 2 or 1 goal, right? I'd sub off Maino and put Casemiro, and then for the first time we've got a midfield three that really feels super secure when holding out a lead. So I hope, for my sake, Ugarte and Casemiro do play together near the end of the game on Saturday.
See, I would do it the other way around. I'd actually start Casemiro and Ugarte, and then pick whoever you want out of, I don't know, Mainu or Bruno, because I think they can both play as attacking midfielders. I think Mainu can play there as well. I don't want to put too much pressure on Mainu. I don't like how many games he played last year. Do you know, we could get him injured if we're not careful. He could get injured. So I don't see a need to rush him into anything. But here and there, when the situation's right, by all means, play him. But there was one goal that we scored yesterday, right? And it came from Agate seeing exactly where the ball was going to go and really fast, intercepting it. And then from there, passes it to Rashford. Rashford lays it off to Ericsson, who then through balls it to Garnacho. That bit of interception, that's exactly why we got Agate, because he's fast at like interceptions like that. And I think he's perfect for the Premier League, to be honest. What do you think?
Oh no, definitely. I mean, we lost. He's basically like, how do you say it? A techier version of Fred, whether you want to like, if that makes sense to you, innit? Because we missed that guy that was running legs. That's why. Thing is, Agate, I'm happy because that's another midfielder coming in that takes the pressure less off Maino to start every single game. Because my problem with last year Maino was the fact that he was starting way too much games in it, because we had practically no one. But I was only not as annoyed because Maino was coming off like 80th minute, 70th minute, stuff like that. So he wasn't playing 90 minutes every single game. So my problem this year is I think with United fans, they need to look at what happens to players like Rooney, Saka. They start off young, and if they carry on playing, they're going to get burnt out by age 25, 26. Like, look at how Foden in it. Like, Pep didn't start Foden 24/7 in every single game. So that's one of my ones. I just hope Maino develops. Agate, I think he's got that killer. He's got that mentality in it. Like, how do you say it? Like Lissandro, him, like that team. They ain't gonna take BS from opponents and all that in it. Like, it allows Casemiro a bit less pressure on the defensive side, where he can push up a bit more instead of being that lone six, which I think was completely unfair on him because he's not. It's not that, like, it's not, his body's just not like that anymore, innit? If he has another person that does the running for him, like he had with Fred, we'd see a Casemiro from like 2 years ago, not the one from last year, which everyone it's an easy scapegoat. It's an easy scapegoat. It's an easy scapegoat, regardless of whether I think he should have gone or not. Which, if a 50 million bid came in for him, I'd be glad. I'd be happy to take it. But at the same time, I'm gonna be level-headed and say it's like he might not have the capability of playing as a lone six, but he's not the one saying I'll play there. It's the coach doing it. So that's their job to mitigate limitations on players. But honestly, that's why I'm happy with Agate and Casemiro, because I know that if Casemiro defends, Agate is literally like a second factor in it. Like if someone gets past Casemiro, you've got Agate behind you. If you get past Agate, you got De Ligt and Martinez. Like, I feel more secure each time, anyways. So I'm just happy.
No, I am as well. Go on.
I'm actually happy, man. But yeah, what are you gonna say, bro?
No, so I agree with you. I think basically what Agate does, it means that Casemiro can go a bit further forward, and he can play those nice passes, right? Because against Southampton, he played that through ball into the box for Dalot to get onto, and then Casemiro is capable of those long diagonal passes like Scholes used to do. So his passing should not be underrated. And like I said, I think Agate means that he's got more time to make those passes,
Definitely.
But one thing that I'm hoping now that all our wingers are going to start contributing massively, like with goals and assists. Obviously, we've got 4 wingers for 2 positions. So Garnacho, Rashford, Ahmad, Anthony. I think they've all got their qualities and weaknesses, but I think between them, you should be looking to get a decent amount of goals and assists from them. I think Garnacho is probably going to score or assist every game that he plays. And obviously, we've all been concerned about Rashford's form, but scoring goals like he did yesterday, that can only really help him. So do you think that the signs look good for our wingers at the moment?
Do you know what? Yeah, I think the depth's fine. I mean, I think a lot of people are going to complain about the Jadon Sancho debacle. About it's the most 50-50 thing in it. There's 2 different spectrums to it. Some that are really happy about him gone, and then the other that are just really fuming that he's left in it. But honestly, I wanted him gone because it was just a waste of money keeping him there if he's never going to get the minutes. Regardless if I think he's good, the only problem I had with him was the fact that they took him to a rival club. That's cool. I can what's the word? Forget about it now. But I think some fans are way too invested in Jadon Sancho right now. Like, it's just boring at this point. I'll stop talking about it. But our wingers, I'm actually happy. It's like there's different types of wingers, which means that if we're playing games, we can do different tactics based on what. God, Nacho is different to Ahmad. Rash is different to all these other players. So when we're in a game, we can sub in these different types of wingers and try and change it up a bit. So I was happy about the Zertsky deal, innit? Because Zertsky and Højlund are two completely different players. So you could literally, regardless of who you start, you can sub one on later on in the game and literally change the dynamic. So honestly, this is like the first summer window I was like actually happy, like, because there was no one was, I can't tell if we didn't overspend or anything. Like, I was very happy about the summer, the depth we've got now. You noticed it in the Carabao Cup as well, because we subbed off a few of the players that after 70 minutes or so. Like, did we do that last year? No, we didn't. We started the same team week in and week out. Like, we played Newport and we were starting Lissandro Martinez, Varane and all that. Like, now it was like, cool, we could put Maguire, Evans, Collier and Dallo, whatever, in it. Like, it was cool. And then you can put on Mazraoui now as a right back. And oh my God, do you know what I'm saying it here? Mazraoui is such an upgrade on Wan-Bissaka. I'm just saying it. Like, I can't believe there were fans here that were cussing out Mazraoui before he even came to the club, acting like Wan-Bissaka was that prime Cafu. Like, I loved his 1v1 tackles, but that's all he had to show for his whole time at United. Like, his positioning was crap. Technical ability wasn't there. Like, what's that word? Revision. I can't say that word, but it's
revisionism.
Yeah, that word. Yeah, literally, it was that. And then, do you know what was the one that actually got me gassed? It was the McTominay deal, because I honestly thought McTominay was staying another year, and I was like, oh, he's unsellable. The moment we sold him to Napoli, I was like, these guys are like mad, because the old regime would have never sold McTominay, would have never got rid of some of the players you saw in it.
Exactly.
They've only done that one miss. They've done one thing I disagree with, but that's just, I can see why they've done it, and that's just keeping Ten Hag. Like, I understand it now, innit? Like, I understand it, but yeah, what are you saying there?
So, in going back to what you were saying about Sancho, I think what you said is sort of very mature and reasoned. The thing that you said was you wish that we hadn't sold him to a rival. Now, obviously, I completely understand that, and I agree with you. However, what I would say to that is I don't know who else would have bought him apart from the team who literally buy everything and anything. Do you see what I'm saying? So I literally don't know who else we could have sold him to. And yeah, I don't ever want to sell players to a direct rival. I mean, Welbeck is like not an amazing player, but you see how many times he scores against United, for example. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But that's why it's good that McTominay's gone to Napoli, mate, because I can imagine him going to Fulham, right? I could have imagined him going there and then him just like scoring a last-minute goal against us. I don't want that, you know what I mean?
I think with the McTominay one, if he did score against, I don't know why McTominay, but like, I don't think him joining a Fulham was like, I think he would probably be like top goals. It would be that top goal scorer, and then you would have like all these fans saying, "Oh my God, we should have never saw McTominay this and that." And you just gotta tell them, like, did you watch McTominay for like 90 minutes at United? I think a lot of people forget that. So I tell people, they're like, "Oh, you sold your best player. He scored you all these goals from the bench," and I'm like, I'm sorry. I watched this guy for like 5-7 years for 90 minutes. What all he did was just stress me out half the time and make me annoyed. Like, I'm not going to let a few goals change my thoughts about a certain player. Like, come on now. But with the Sancho deal, I genuinely thought he could have gone Juventus. I thought Juve were going to go towards him, but clearly that didn't work out.
I'm like I said, I'm surprised we even got rid of McTominay going to Italy, because the money is just not there in Italy at the moment. It's just not there. It's not like it used to be back in the 90s or whatever, where they were buying everyone like Gaza and people like this. But in terms of McTominay, the only way that I would have kept him, literally for this reason, is as a substitute striker to throw on in the last 10 minutes when you got no other option. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would keep him well away from my midfield. He does not have the technical ability to play passes, to defend, to receive the ball and be composed. So yeah, midfield, forget about it. But as a crash the box sort of striker in the last 10 minutes, yeah. But what I reckon they said to him, look, you're probably only gonna get games off the bench. You might play some cup games here and there. And he's probably said, well, you know, I'm willing to move away then. It's not a problem. He'd been at United a while now. I wish him all the best. I got no personal malice. He gave his best to us, but his best in terms of the midfield is not what we need. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, yeah.
And obviously Rabiot went to Marseille the other day, right? I don't know if I ever asked you, would you have taken him at United or not?
Rabiot, I honestly might have, but this guy's mum is probably like worse than Mino Raiola. That's how bad it would have been. Like, you would have known it would have been a bit toxic with him in the squad. And then you already know what Ten Hag's like with players that are a bit, let's say, a bit hot-headed, isn't it? Like, that would not go well. And you already know how peak he is because he's already gone to Marseille, which is like a team full of villains at this point, isn't it? So it's like you've got a shithouse, you've Mope, and then you've got other characters. So De Zerbi's collecting an Infinity Stone of villains at this point, so it's bad. So I'm not surprised he's gone there. But I would have probably taken Rabiot, but I think his mum as an agent, I don't think that would have worked out for us in the long term, considering he would have probably been asking for stupid wages at the same time in it, and it would be crazy to like get rid of Varane and all these players because of the wage bill just to overpay for Adrien Rabiot. Like it wouldn't make sense in my opinion.
No, I hear that. The reason that I wanted Rabiot is because I didn't personally think that Eriksen was going to get any minutes. So I'm happy for Eriksen to get minutes and to sort of rotate with Bruno or Menu or whoever it might be. So as long as Eriksen is still in the plans, and that's fine, I can do without Rabiot. It's not a problem. So obviously there's a lot of people who are getting upset when Ahmad doesn't start a game. Now I personally think that because he's still young, it's not a problem to put him on the bench here and there, bring him on. I don't think that's a problem. I don't think really any player, especially if they're young, should be playing every game. So would you agree with that, or do you think he should be starting every game?
No, I agree to the fact that he should be starting, but do you know when I say like being dropped, when I mean like unfairly dropped, like if he's made a performance that's justifiable starting the next game and he's just been dropped, like how do I explain it? So do you know that before the Liverpool game, right, Rashford was so out of form, it was unbelievable, right? The fact that he started the next game regardless, Ahmad scored what the game before got dropped. That's when it annoys me, innit? Because I'm like, there was a player that literally played better than you. He's been dropped while you start. But at the same time, I kind of get it. It's like, I think every player believes they should be starting. It's like, if United fans, it's like, whenever they see a young player, they're like, they have to start. They love pressing them to the pressure, innit? It's like Garnacho. Like, everyone's like, Garnacho has to start. I'm like, no. Garnacho right now in his career is a better impact sub than a starter, in my opinion. Like, I think I'd probably with Garnacho, I think he's got an ego to him. Like if you see his Twitter feed, this guy is hilarious. It's so funny. But the problem is, I just want these players to develop, man. See how we've burnt out so many players. Like we've done it to Rooney. I think we've practically done it to Rashford to a certain degree. Saka is going to experience it because Arsenal just never sub him off. And when you tell Arsenal fans Saka needs to start from the bench from time to time, it's like a disrespectful thing to say. So we'll see, man. But yeah, it depends what type of games Ahmad doesn't play or how his minutes are done. But yesterday, I was happy he didn't start for play a lot of the minutes. I was happy Kobe Mainoo didn't even play yesterday. That's how happy I was. I was like, fuck, that's cool. I can deal with that.
Yeah, same here. Like I said, there's no rush. He's got his whole career ahead of him. If we've got players that can step in and do a job, then there's no need to keep playing him over and over like we did last year, because we did that last year. He played way too many games. Then he got selected for England and played quite a few games for them as well. So he's probably, if you look at his when you go on, they use a laptop, don't they? And they see when
Yeah.
it's likely that someone's going to get injured or burn out. He's probably right at the edge of that, so they just need to be careful. And the fact that he didn't play any minutes, like you said yesterday, is a good thing.
Yeah,
So
literally, yeah.
so for example, against Palace, it's a massive game. It's more important than the Barnsley game. What would your front three be?
Uh, so it would probably have to. I would put Rashford, Zertsky, and Ahmad as that front three because Ahmad practically got no minutes. So you can already tell, can it? Because Zertsky, Ahmad didn't even start or nothing. So I think they're going to be on the right hand side on the centre. And I think
Yeah.
Rashford will have to be on the left. And then when it hits like, 60, 70 minutes, I'm putting Garnacho on. And that's literally my front three. I think that's. You could put Anthony on as well if you really want to. But I think he's down the pecking order. Like, he's basically what Sancho was before he left. Like, he'll get the minutes, but like he'll have to like properly show it to see like why I need to start. Because of Ahmad and that, his ceiling, he has to do stats. Like, he has to perform. Like, he can't do mediocre because the fans aren't going to deal with it. Ten Hag clearly seems to like Ahmad now. Like, you've seen the Ahmad train. So yeah, my front three would be Zertsky, Ahmad, and Rashford. What about you?
I think it's really difficult because I take your point about Garnacho is better off the bench because the defenders are tired. They don't want to run after him. And that's how the Southampton player got sent off the other day because, you know, he skinned him and he just took him out, didn't he? So, yeah, I take your point about Garnacho being a good sub. Yeah, I think Rashford has to start. He's scored a couple of goals now in 2 games in a row. He has to start. It's just whether or not Garnacho plays or Ahmad plays. I think that's a very tricky one. I'm not sure what he's going to go for. And you say Xerxes up front. I think Xerxes until Højlund is back. I think that's the obvious choice. But I said this to someone the other day, right? I wouldn't be. Let's say Højlund is fit. I would not be upset with Xerxes playing where Bruno plays and Højlund playing up front. I would not be upset with that. I think that might be quite interesting.
Well, like a cam.
Yeah.
Essentially. Well, yeah, I mean, you can tell because Zertsky, when the guy holds the ball, he loves holding up play, passing it around and stuff. Not like a number, like a proper 9 in it, in a way. It's like, because most number 9s, like, if you saw Højlund, Højlund would not do what Zertsky does in terms of like keeping the ball, passing it the way he does and stuff. So it'd be a good thing, but like you could do different things with Zertsky and Højlund. You could literally put them as a front two. You could put Højlund on the left, Zertsky up front. Like, there's different ways on how you really want to play it. So that's my problem when Zertsky didn't go preseason and Højlund got injured because you could have like tested it out and seen what happened, but we probably won't get that. But no, I'm once Højlund's coming back, I think I'll be pretty much excited to see what happens. I know some United fans that don't rate Højlund like that. To be fair, like I don't know why, but I mean I'm giving Højlund like another year before I give my judgment. But
yeah,
I don't know. Højlund's a bit of a weird one. He's a bit of a weird one, but I see what he does. Like you can see how like he's like a Garnacho. Like if you bring him off the bench, in an away game, especially an away game, like they are effective. Like Palace's main centre, ring backs, or Nathaniel Klein and all that. You put Garnacho in that and Højlund or whatever at like minute 70, you know there's going to be, something's going to happen. Like that's going to be good. So yeah, I'm excited for the depth, man. The depth is good. As long as we don't get the injuries, I'm happy, man. I'm happy with the depth we've got.
I just want Højlund to be a box striker. I don't necessarily need to see him like hold up play and come deep and collect the ball. I'd rather he just makes good runs, stays in the box and gets tapping goals like Ruud van Nistelrooy. I really don't care. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
I think you can tell that Xerxes isn't a natural striker. I think you can tell that, right? Yeah. I'm not saying he's crap or anything to that extent whatsoever. I just don't think he's an out-and-out striker. I just think he likes more of a free role where he can do what he wants. But like I just put in the chat, Xerxes literally could have scored in every single game that he's played. He's had the chances to. So it just shows you that we are creating chances. And obviously we scored 10 goals in the last 2 games now. So I expect us to at least score 2 goals against Palace. That's what I'd hope for. What about you?
I don't know. Palace is a weird one for me. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Palace can go in two ways: really, really good, really, really bad. So it's like it's a hard one. I never overestimate what's the word? Underestimate Palace at all at Selhurst, because you know that game's gonna be difficult. So I think it might just be like a cheeky, maybe like 2 goal. If it's 2 goals, I think it'll be like a 2-1 game, not like a 2-0 comfortable game. So I think it'll be like a 2-1. Like we might even be behind and we'll just catch up with 2 goals. Like one of those ones, because Palace aren't to mess about, man. I know what it's like at Selhurst. These guys, the atmosphere is crazy there. So we'll see what happens. But if anything, we even got goal threats on set piece, which is crazy, you know. De Ligt can get a header in.
Yeah.
You got decent crosses now. Like De Ligt, bro, the amount of hate De Ligt was getting before the Southampton game was like, what the hell? And then he scores, and then it was like, I was actually happy for him because I was like, bro, the hate this guy was getting was so overreactionary.
It's like everything that a United player does from the moment that he signs for United gets scrutinised and analysed. Like years ago, they wouldn't give a damn about what De Ligt was doing for Holland, right? They wouldn't be saying, oh, he had an awful game. Oh, he's a waste of money. They wouldn't do that. But now everything's under the microscope. And like you said, he scored a goal. I see him scoring more goals because he's big and he's brave. We just need to take better set pieces, mate. Bruno just isn't the one for corners. You just can't take corners. Ericsson's all right at them. Mount's all right at them. But yeah.
I think
know,
Bruno's
man.
corners are predictable, isn't it? Because it's always short. It's like you'll call it short. Whoever gets it on short passes it back to him. He crosses it. First person gets the header and it's gone.
Yeah.
Or if he's lucky, if the marking's crap, we'll get like a header, like a Casemiro or something. We'll get it. So it's really predictable. But nah, man, I just want to see what happens. Like I don't get teams like that mock United half the time because I'm like, it's like the Sterling deal, right? When Sterling got linked to United, how many Arsenal fans were mocking it differently in it, saying your team's linked to this guy, this guy's a fraud. And then what happens 2-3 days later? Sterling goes to Arsenal. Mikel Arteta, what a signing for Arsenal. Brilliant loan deal. Eddie masterclass. Like it's one thing for another team and one thing for United, which I mean, I don't blame him, man. United did ruin a lot of people's childhoods in it. It's one of those ones.
See, I was in favour of Sterling coming. If the money was right and he wasn't asking for ridiculous wages, right, I would have taken him. Simple fact that he's so versatile. He can play on the left and the right. He can score with his left or his right foot. He's got experience. He's actually quite good with close control of the ball. I'm not going to shed any tears for the fact that he's gone to Arsenal because they probably won't use him enough anyway. They'll probably just stick with Martinelli, who's been garbage for 6 months now, something like that.
Yeah, and then even if Martinelli's gone, it's going to be Trossard anyway. So it's like, it's a weird one. Sterling and Arsenal might just be, I don't know. For me, I didn't want Sterling because if we were doing a swap deal with Chelsea for Sancho, I wanted Carney Chukwuemeka in it, the midfielder. So I wanted him instead of Sterling, Ben Chilwell, and all that. Didn't get him, which I was annoyed about. But I was watching the Chelsea game actually, and their attacking depth is crazy. Felix, Neto, Sancho, Madueke. Like Technic is a eye test merchant's like favorite team or favorite like scenery to watch because it's just pure technical ability on that squad. But the question is with Sancho, I just want to see how he performs. Like, I'm just really curious to see what will happen because you already know like. When they play these United, you know if a player does well when they leave United, you know the media is going to be like spamming it. So I want to see what happens because Jadon Sancho got man of the match. But I'm thinking, he was good and all, but he was not man of the match because Sanchez was literally keeping Chelsea in the game. Like you already knew it was such a PR stunt.
Exactly.
But I'm curious, man. I'm just curious to see what happens. But for me, I'm just focused on United, bro. I just want that Europa League. Like my target is getting a Europa and top 4. That's all I want. And if you don't get that, then God knows what happens. What about your targets, though?
Yeah, exactly the same as yours. I think top 4 will be hard because I would personally say it's going to be in the top 3. I think it's going to be City, Arsenal, Liverpool. And then obviously that just leaves one spot, which could be us, it could be Chelsea, it could be Spurs. Spurs, did you see the London derby the other day?
Oh my God, I was watching that. I was like, it was just such a Spursy thing in it. Like they had the advantage to actually win that game.
Yeah.
Like I think Andrew's tactics are okay to us. Like I think Andrew's a decent manager. He just got players that can't the technical. I just want to see Andrew at United. I'm really curious to see what would it be like because at United he's got techier players compared to Spurs, where you've got Brennan Johnson, Dominic Solanke.
Yeah.
Like a finished, more of like a decreased Son. I'm not going to be disrespectful to Son. And that's it, really. I mean, Van de Ven was practically saving Spurs. It was literally just Van de Ven in defense. And then I think Arsenal's defense is just too overpowered. Like, I'm not even going to lie. They probably got the best defense in the league. But they definitely could have capitalized on no Erdegaard, no Moreno, no Calafiori. They definitely could have capitalized it, but they just didn't, which is Spurs, which I don't know if they will get top 4, but I think Villa, man. I think Villa could actually battle with Chelsea and United for top 4, especially with the form Duran's in right now. That guy is it's crazy.
It was a great goal the other day. He scored. But what I was surprised about with Spurs, right, is that you're at home. It's a derby. You're only losing by 1 goal, right? That you can get a goal back and get another one in the time they had. They didn't really seem that bothered, and I think that's grace, because their manager is the epitome of like strength and not giving up and like overcoming stuff. Do you know what I mean? And they just played like they didn't give a damn. So I was really happy to see that, because we play them soon, and if they don't show fight like they didn't against Arsenal, I see us like battering them, mate. I don't know about you.
It depends. Yeah, it depends though, because I think Spurs didn't have I think Bentancur might actually be suspended by the time that happens, and then as long as they don't have Sarr, Bentancur, I think we should be fine, because they literally had to play Kuleveski in midfield, and then when they subbed off players, they put in players like Timo Werner and that Burnley player they had, like Odebear or whatever. So like it's one of those ones, and I think Spurs is like the standards at Spurs is completely low. Like we say our standards have dropped, but it's still bigger than, it's still better than Spurs' standards. Like these guys are just there for fun, innit? Like there's like a manager. I've never seen a man. I saw a Spurs tweet the other day saying, "Take me back to these days," and it was literally last season when they were on a 10-game win streak. Like it's just crazy, man. I think Spurs are that club where, you know, where you go out for vibes, innit? Like you're just there for vibes. You're not as long as you have fun in the stadium, a good days out. Like I think that's like the standards of Spurs. Whereas like if you go to like a United, a Liverpool, Arsenal, if you go to their stadium and you lose or something, you're gonna be like it's gonna hurt more in a way. I can't explain it to you, but I think Spurs' standards are just down the drain, because a team that's big like Spurs, how are teams like Leicester City, West Ham winning trophies, major trophies before these, man? Like, if people said to me Spurs could get out of the top 6, like the top 6, what do you call it? The top 6 brand in it, like let's say you got the United, Liverpool's and all that. Yeah, I could easily get rid of Spurs if I really wanted to and just replace them with someone else. So I think that's the problem with Spurs. I think Spurs fans just don't care about how good or bad it is, because they're not used to winning. Like me and you, we've seen United win way more than Tottenham. And how many trophies? How crap have you been in the last 10 years? Like, like it's one of those ones, isn't it, man? But but knowing us, we could actually lose to Spurs. That's our problem. Like we're so unpredictable. When something looks so easy, we make it look so difficult, innit? So
I don't know, man. I can see something changing, right? What I noticed yesterday from the game was how lethal we were at counter-attacking, right?
Yeah.
So we were getting the ball from our defense and into their box within a few seconds, right? And that is the hallmark of a Man United side. Like when we would go away to Arsenal, we would soak up pressure, then we would counter-attack so fast they didn't even have a chance, and you'd have like Ronaldo, Rooney, right? So
Yeah.
I can see that happening right now. I can see us soaking up pressure, interception by Ugarte, he spreads it to someone, and then you feed one of the wingers. I think that's the way to go now. I don't think we can play possession football still, right? So I think counter-attacking is the way to go. And if our wingers are shining like they are at the moment, I see us beating Spurs, mate. If you look at the Spurs squad, right, I don't think I'd take anyone from there, right? The only one maybe, and this is a very big maybe, is Udogi. That's about it.
Oh yeah, a left
Yeah.
back. We definitely need a left back. Yeah,
Mm,
I'd
mm.
definitely take him.
Because look, we spoke about Brendan Johnson. He's never ever impressed me, right? Every time I've seen him, he's mid. He's mid.
Oh yeah, literally, man.
Like you said, Song. I don't know what 3 years ago with Kane was amazing, but that's gone downhill. Maddison hasn't been that good. Kulusevski's all right. But yeah, they've got a lot of just sort of hard men, if you know what I mean. So they got like
Yeah.
Bentancur, who's a hard man. You got Pedro Porro. You got Romero. They're just average team, bro. I mean, I don't think Solanke has scored yet for them, has he?
No, and people are telling me Zertsky is going to be a worse signing than Solanke. It's crazy. I
And he's like
mean,
60 mil, right?
yeah, he was like what 60 million, and we paid what 35 for Zertsky,
Yeah.
and that was it. It's crazy, man. I think Spurs. Like when you look at Spurs' players and paper, it looks like you'd think you're talking about a super team in it, but when you actually watch them play, Daniel Levy and all that, the ambition at Spurs, it's just different, man. They're just jokes in it. Like respectfully, I'd actually look, I say that, yeah, but if Spurs were in a Europa League final against like some random European team, I'm supporting Spurs, bro, just so I can mock Arsenal fans. like, if Spurs win, I'm happy, bro, because I know that Arsenal fans would be like vexed. Imagine they don't win the league and Spurs wins the Europa. Like, the scenes would be lively, bro. But that's what annoys me about. Do you know what? Actually, I don't know. I'll say this. It's unrelated to the topic here, but so growing up here, were you growing up at Liverpool were like extremely like crap, like really bad?
Right at the start of me liking football, they were at their peak, and then as I was growing up, that's when United took over.
Right. Oh, wait. So you saw how bad Liverpool were back in the days?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought when you said peak, I thought you started watching it during Jurgen Klopp's time for a second. I was my bad. But no. So like growing up here, you would never hear smoke from Liverpool fans. You'd never hear football conversations from Liverpool fans. Like they would never back chat whatsoever, like saying your team's dusty, your team's this, that, in it. The second Jurgen Klopp comes along, all these Liverpool fans just spawn out of nowhere, and they start chat. They start wanting talking football back, like start wanting to talk about football in it, and they're just looking at them like, oh my god! And then because these men have never tasted success in football, yeah. Some of the lines I've heard these men do, disrespecting Vidic, disrespecting Ferdinand, cussing out Neville, ever saying they've got the best striker ever, the best winger ever, the best defenders ever. Trent's the best right back of all time in the league. Like, that's what I think is going to happen to Arsenal fans if they win the league this year. Like, I would not be surprised if I hear like shouts from people saying Saka has a better Prem legacy than Ronaldo. Like, I would not be surprised if that happens.
I don't know, man. I just think I don't see Arsenal winning the league, mate. I think they had their best chance the last 2 years in a row. I don't think they'll get near it this time. Really, the fact that they haven't gone out there and bought a top-notch striker, that's the biggest problem, mate. You know?
Yeah, literally. Ivan Toney was available. Toney was literally there. North London, easily attractive. He didn't have to move. That would have been the best move for Arsenal. I don't get, and then there's just a bit of copium saying Sterling's that signing. But if you want to win the league, like respectfully, you can't win the league with Raheem Sterling in your squad, with just Sterling. And they should have got a replacement for Erdegaard, or at least just kept Fabio Vieira. So I think that's all on Arsenal if they don't win the league. Ideally, I'd take Arsenal winning the league because it means no City League or no City 5P in my opinion. But I don't know. I kind of needed an Arsenal win this year, and they're clearly not going to do it. So and I don't want Liverpool winning, so it's like I'm on a really crappiest boat right now, like really bad, like conundrum.
The thing is, though, with all these 115 charges, it might not even matter what City do because they may get relegated anyway. But from what I've been reading, right, they're saying that you won't the result. What's the word? The outcome won't be known for another probably couple of months at least, and then they're saying that it won't even be made public until next year. That's crazy to me. What kind of justice is that?
Bro, I can't lie to you. Hello. Well, I don't think City are going to get guilty anyway. I generally think they're going to be fine. Like you can't have a super team of lawyers and just say, "Oh, we're going to be guilty." Like, come on. I think they're going to be fine. I generally think nothing's going to happen to Man City. It's just one of those ones, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. But this thing is, I'm just curious. If City do get charged, like hypothetically, and they strip City of their titles, and let's say the Mourinho team gets a Premier League medal, so that's a Pogba, Lukaku, Rashford, and all that. Would you think of it like a win, or would you think like because it's so long gone, it won't feel anything to you?
Yeah, what you said right at the end. I wouldn't make too much difference to me. The only difference it would make is that they get punished for being cheats. So I'd be happy with that. But I wouldn't care about winning, then winning the league because of that. I just want to see justice done. Because at the end of the day, I was saying this to Rudes, right? If it was Man United who had 115 charges, they wouldn't stop talking about it every day. There'd be documentaries. They may have even sort of suspended us from playing football while we were investigated. So
they still talk about it now. They always talk about Sir Alex Ferguson being corrupt and all that. Like, if this was United, it's a different story. I think with City, though, it's like I just hope the Prem don't get like what's the word, like influenced by like the marketing, the revenue of all that, City's lawyers and all that shady crap. Like. That's why I think City will be fine. That's why I'm like, if I'm a City fan, I'm just not going to worry about it. Like you're not going to splash all this cash on lawyers just to be guilty in it. One of those ones. So we'll see, man. But if they do get guilty and they get relegated, I'm going to be shameless and just laugh about it because
we're having a party,
see, like,
bro.
now, do you know what I'm going to actually do? I want to see how many fans stick around to watch National League Man City. Like. Who will actually tune in to watch Vanarama North Man City? Like, there's no way in hell they're gonna keep those fans, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we get it hard for being United fans. Like, oh, you're glory hunters, this and that. Even though we don't win half the time in it. So it's like I want to see how the City fan total count go in it. Like, it'll be crazy if they get relegated. Part of me will watch it though because it'll be interesting in it. As like a not even a hate watch, that'd be a celebration watch, a justice watch.
Like, they're 0-0 right now with Inter. It's half time, so I thought they'd be winning by now, but they're not. And again, Spurs haven't scored either, so it's 0-0 country. But looking at the stats, Spurs haven't even had a shot yet.
Wait, who are Spurs? Wait, I know they're playing Coventry. I need to see who's in their starting lineup though.
They're not playing their proper team. They are playing. I'll tell you now.
Oh, I've got it on me.
Got it, yeah. So they are playing Solanke, but any team with Timo Werner is like mid. You know what I'm saying?
Werner, Bergvall, great. Come on, great. These are players capable of scoring against or taking a shot against Coventry. Like, we literally beat Coventry last year in the semi-final. Like, and imagine this was a Coventry with Victor Gyökeres. Like, that'd be even funnier.
I've got a feeling that they don't even care about this cup. I don't think they care.
I don't get why Spurs don't. I generally don't.
Should do. They should do, shouldn't they? Because they should try to win something for once.
Like, if we cared about this cup because we were literally on a cup drought, it literally helps you. Like, once you get a taste of win, like, it would probably it would change your club. Like, it literally did it for us. Because if we didn't win that Carabao, I don't think we would have gone towards the FA Cup or nothing last season. Because we know it's had to win at Wembley. Like, how many semis and finals did we lose before Ten Hag came? So like, it's important to win these cups, and I just don't get why Tottenham don't do it. Put your
No,
better player, put your main 11 in these cups because you're never going to win the league. And like no one cares if you go UCL because if you don't go UCL, if you go UCL, you're never going to win the UCL anyway. So
exactly.
like, I don't get why they're doing this just for their league position. I mean, it's money at the end of the day. I get it, but still.
And you've seen the subs bench, right? So they've
Yeah.
rested Madison, they've rested Song, Kulusevski, Pedro Porro. If it was me, right, I would do it the other way around. I would start my strongest team. Then, if we're
Yeah.
winning, then I would sub them off.
Yeah, that's
Because look,
facts, man.
Coventry caused us problems last year, man. Coventry caused us problems, so Spurs shouldn't be that arrogant.
They're not in the predicament to even act like they can put their reserves in. Like, they ain't won. They ain't got that winning pedigree, though.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't get it, man. Spurs are Spurs. Look, if they want to care about the Premier League and all that and not win it, that's on them. But it's just something I wouldn't do. But Spurs Coventry, I saw the City games were drawn, and I was watching the game in the background. So it's not. I'm not. So if it's looking like I'm not, I'm just blatantly just doing something else during the stream. I'm just peeking each time to see what the score is.
Yeah.
But now I was watching this halftime for that part. But we'll see what happens, man. I don't know. City game, I know they're going to score because it's at the Etihad. But Tottenham, if Tottenham lose, who have they got next? Brentford.
What in
Do
the
you think
league?
Andrew gets sacked, actually?
That's a hard question, man. I don't think
Because-
so. No, I don't think so. I think Spurs have got to be honest and realise their team is not all that. There's only so much a manager can do with players like that. For Christ's sake, Brendan Johnson and Timo Werner as your wingers.
You're just not, bro. We talk about how bad ours can be sometimes.
Yeah.
Like theirs is worse. Thing is, do you find it a bit weird how like we're not we're not the biggest Ten Hag fans, but like when you compare the criticism of Ten Hag and Ange in terms of form and everything, it's a bit weird, isn't it? Like you can tell it's so forced at United, and Tottenham is like no one bats an eyelid on Spurs' form because what we're literally above Spurs and we're meant to be, and we're having like a crisis right now. So it's a bit weird. I think Tottenham get it off so easy when it comes to results and all that. But maybe that's just because no one actually cares. That's the problem. Like
and they care too much about United, hence why they, bloody go on about having a bad game for Holland. Like I said, they would never do that in the past.
That's why I wish social media existed when we were winning three-peats and UCLs. That's why I wish. Imagine social media existed then. Like
it'd be wild.
Crazy. If we win next time we win the league, the amount of like words that are going to be expressed towards the media is going to be so bad. Imagine Ten Hag actually wins us the league. How petty do you think he would be?
I don't know, man. I can't even dream of that right now. I honestly can't.
I know. I don't think it would happen, but if it did, it'd be funny.
You have to be so consistent, you know what I mean, and that's why we're winning cups, because you only have to sort of turn up for these one-off games, with no second leg or whatever, and just do your best that game. Because let's be honest, right? If we were to play City, I don't know, 4 times, they would probably beat us 3, and we would win 1 at the moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you. That's why I think Europa should be a must. Well, Europa should be a like a big challenge. And I forget Euro literally plays for us. I literally forget Euro. Euro's even at our squad. So it's like, if you look at our CB depth, De Ligt, Martinez, Euro, Maguire, Evans, Lindelof. That is 6 decent centre backs to like use. So I'm actually, but it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It's just the fullbacks that's a problem, because heaven forbid if one of Delo or Mazraoui gets injured, then it looks a bit.
God.
You know?
That's why I prefer Mazraoui on the bench when Malacia and all that come back, because I know Dallo is hard to get injured in it. Like he's rarely like out for a long time, so that's why I'd rather put Mazraoui on the bench for majority of the time, because I know that Mazraoui could pick up a knock and you're just like, oh crap. And the last thing I'm surprised Ten Hag did not start Harry Amas. I'm really surprised he didn't give
I
him
think
any
lots of
minutes.
people. I think lots of people
Huh?
were. I think lots of
Yeah.
people were surprised, and I don't think they expected to see Collier as a left back. I don't know what the thought process was behind that, to be honest with you. But I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you. But we didn't even play that many. We didn't hardly play any youth players anyway, apart from him. I think he was the only one, right?
Yeah, Collier. Yeah, even Ethan Wheatley didn't even get any minutes.
No,
Maybe
no.
that's like, I think the Amas one I wasn't as annoyed because I'm like, the guy's like 17, but it's not even 18 yet. So like,
Hmm.
it's one of those ones. But yeah, Wheatley, I was surprised that you could have put Wheatley into the Zertsky and just given Zertsky some minute like rest in it.
I just think we have from now on. Every game we should be starting with the strongest available team for that match, and then
Yeah.
if we're winning comfortably, then bring on the subs, then bring on the young players to get a feel for the game. I don't want to throw in young players and put them under pressure, even though it was Barnsley, right? Even though it was Barnsley, we still had to win that, because if we hadn't and we got knocked out, it would have
Yeah,
been
yeah.
pandemonium, mate. So I
Yeah,
understand why it's playing a
mhm.
strong team.
Yeah, you got to beat what's ahead of you in it, like regardless. Like that's why I find this such a like weird convo when people are like, "Oh, why are you so happy you only beat Barnsley?" Or the same people that if you did beat Barnsley, you're gonna be like mocking it differently. Like,
Yeah,
what do you want us to do?
yeah.
Like, it's crazy. And the people saying, "Oh, you only won 7-0." I'm sorry. How much did you want us to beat them by? Like 12-0, 15-0, 16-0? Like, come on, man. It's like they say United can't score goals. United score goals. Oh, United should score more goals. I'm like, the goalpost moves, man. So I can't chat to half the football fans in it. It's
Mm.
like, so I went on a TikTok live. Yeah, I was just watching it, right, and
Mm.
my head was just like like spinning because I was hearing so much BS in like the space of 1 minute. Like
Mm.
it was one thing after the other, and it was Arsenal and United fans in it. I think Arsenal fans were talking about somewhat. So basically, someone's like, I'd rather have what Arteta has now compared to Ten Hag, and I was like, so Ten Hag has 2 trophies compared to Arteta's 1. I'm
Yeah,
like, and then at the same time, they're like United's this and that, mocking them, and I was like, if United are so bad, yeah, compared compared to Arsenal, we've literally won maybe the same or more than you lot during your peak golden era right now. But
mm.
we're in a crisis, and I'm just like, I had to switch off. I was like, oh, if I say anything, I'm just gonna be fuming the whole time. So I was like, I left it, and I
The thing
think,
is, right? We all we can do is get better. We can't get any worse than we have been last year. I know we're not going to finish eighth. I know we're not. I think we'll finish close to top four, if not in the top four, because I think that the signings that have come in are really intelligent signings. They're not just buying people for the sake of it. These signings are there to improve the spine of the team, and most of them are young. But a lot of them, even though they are young, they've got experience. Like Delit is a prime example. And Ugarte at 23 is an amazing signing because he already plays like quite mature for his age. Yeah. I don't think you'd think that he's 23. You'd probably think 26, 27. So I think
yeah,
Ineos signings have been really good, man.
oh, definitely, man, they're better than freaking John Murta and freaking Richard Arnold going to Barcelona just to chat up to Frankie De Jong and then just get rejected every single time. Like at least with our with our bloody board of directors, whatever, they're going to places and actually coming back with the goods compared to what the others are just coming back with nothing. Like it's one of those ones, man. So I'm pretty chilled. But overall I'm blessed. But
Yeah.
what's it, bro? Sorry, but I really have to go now.
Yeah, no
But
worries, man.
thanks, big up to you. But thanks for having me on and everything. Yeah,
It's a pleasure, brother.
no worries, man. Big up to you, my guy.
You take care. And anyone who sees this video, make sure you sub to Taz to his YouTube channel.
I've literally put in the comments.
I'll do it,
Yeah, I'll
mate.
put the link in the comments.
Yeah,
But yeah,
do it.
man, big up to you, man. I'll see you I'll see you in a bit, bro.
Yeah, you take it easy, bro. See you in a bit.
You too now, bro. Cheers. Bye.
Peace. Right, let me pin that. Yeah, everyone who sees this now, please subscribe. Let me pin it here. Yeah, make sure you sub to Taz because he makes a lot of videos and his videos are actually quite funny as well. He's got a good sense of humor. So yeah, we're off now. Hopefully we'll see Inter Milan score against Man City, but I'm not holding my breath. Peace to everyone. Share, like, subscribe. Big up. Peace.